Welcome, everybody, to the Bar Talk Podcast. I am back for my triumphant return. I'm Jordan Shabbat at the Speedwell Tavern. I missed 2 whole episodes. And joining me today at the Mayflower Brewery is Mayflower Brewery's Sarah Annis.
Hey, how you doing?
Awesome, thank you. And also joining me today is my assistant, Karl.
Hello, everybody.
New World Tavern's Karl. And then joining us again, of course, is Dan Mahoney of the BBC.
I'm glad you're back and you're feeling better.
Thanks,
after
man.
your anal leakage,
Well,
I think it was.
I don't know if you guys have ever done the Oregon Trail, but if you ever try to float a wagon, let me tell you, not easy, dude. Dysentery, pick it up like this.
It was a serious problem in Plymouth.
It sure is. It
Early
sure
stages.
is.
You try sailing your buffalo across the river made out of a rickety wagon wheel.
Well, it was a buffalo wing.
Yeah.
But, it's kind of my specialty. But some dad jokes have flown, man. Today we are going to be talking about not bad jokes. When we're talking about bad days at work, we can specify to the bar industry, obviously, with the round table we got here or long square table, rectangle table. But everyone can relate to having just a bad day at work. Everything goes wrong. We thought this would be a great subject to kind of touch on and kick it off, what went wrong, how did it go wrong. It's kind of Newton's law. Sometimes you walk into work and it starts with stubbing your toe and everything goes downhill from there.
I think that's called Murphy's Law, my friends.
Oh yeah, not Newton.
Yeah.
Well, unless it's a
Wrongful.
gravity issue, right?
Yeah.
Like you walk into work and all of a sudden you jump and hit the ceiling.
Just fall down a flight of stairs.
Yeah, then it's Newton. It's Newton's first and second and third law.
Well, as a brewery, we can have a lot of gravity issues that go on.
Oh, there you go.
That joke's been passed over
Right.
Sarah.
A little bit of brewery joke right there.
For those of you who don't know, just look up gravity and beer, and you'll have a good time with that.
You won't.
Science.
I promised you won't.
Bad day at work. I feel like in a bar where you're serving alcohol and you have multiple personalities coming in, that's sort of, depending on, I guess, who's working there, that's something that can happen really easily.
So you have multiple personalities coming in, or you have multiple personalities
Coming out.
and people are coming in?
Yeah, I think both. I think both. Good point. But yeah, that's true too. You can just kind of go in a piss poor mood and you get one shitty customer and it sends off the rest of your day. But I think specific examples are sort of the way to go. I always relate mine to that one guest I had where maybe they were trying to like con me or get one over on me, or they were just like, frankly, just a piece of shit. And it's not always the customer's fault. Sometimes it's my fault. Sometimes it's an employee's fault. Sometimes it's just the color of the sky that day. I don't know. But here's a particular story that just ruined my weekend. I was working at a bar in New Bedford, and I was tending bar, and we were slammed. It was a Saturday afternoon. And this woman came in and immediately just started snapping and screaming for me across the room. And I knew already she was going to be a tough time. So I ran over to her, tried to just play it off nice, and I was already getting my ass kicked and kind of just got blindsided. Everything went wrong. And, she was very demanding. She was also seemed kind of like she had already started drinking before we opened at 11:30 in the morning.
Kids call that the pregame, George.
The pregame at 11:30 in the morning on a Saturday afternoon, and I think it was the winter. But anyway, so she's at the bar and she orders a salad. And she's already complaining about her drink not being strong enough. And she's with some guy who's on his phone the entire time, so he's not listening to me. He's just pointing his finger in my face saying, one more. And I kind of had a feeling they weren't going to pay their tab, but it was so busy I couldn't really pay attention to him. And I turn around, and she's looking up at me and saying there's a hair in her salad. So I look over, and she's got her own hair hanging out of her mouth that she had just ripped out of her head and shoved into her salad and ate it. And looked at me and was like, I want
So
the
she
salad
ripped
for free.
her hair out of her head, put it in her salad, and ate it.
And then still ate it.
And complained about the hair in her salad?
Correct.
Can you do that?
She did it.
It's
I don't
definitely
think it's a legal
unconventional.
thing,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I kicked her out. I mean, I did my best. I didn't charge her for the salad. And then everything else from that day on was just people complaining
Fucking
about
downhill.
Shit. Downhill from there. One of those fucking days where...
Full moon. Must have been a full moon. All the whack jobs come out in a
When
friggin' full moon.
Mercury's in Gatorade, is that what it's called?
Yeah. When
Retrograde.
Gatorade.
Bad Blood Planet joke, whatever.
Just one off.
When my moon's in Uranus.
Yeah.
One off the top of my head.
Oh man, I mean, I've had a day like that where I just walked home like, what the fuck? I had a guy walk in, and there's probably 4 people at the bar. It's just early, wasted, like can't even speak. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna ignore this guy, and maybe he'll go away. So I'll talk to other customers down there. If you've never been to the bar I work at, it's a very tiny bar. There's not a lot of place to escape, so it works. The guy leaves. I'm like, thank God, I don't have to deal with it. 10 minutes later, this guy comes back and just yells, I need tequila. It's like, yeah, man, sorry, I can't give you any drink. I think you've already had some, the normal spiel to kind of get him out. So it's like, whatever, and just leaves. No less than a half hour later, this guy walks in, but he changed his shirt. And he's like,
You told me that.
I need a drink. I'm like, dude, just because you change your shirt, I mean, you still can't have anything.
Right.
Fucking storms off again. Hour goes by, comes back again. Another new shirt. Now he's carrying a plastic bag full of nips. He's like, I'm just going to go upstairs. I'm like, you can't be in here, man. You got to go.
I want to know what this guy's like Karl looks like. Like,
right.
did he have just like a hanger with like a bunch of different shirts and like a suitcase of nips?
That's the thing. Is like,
In his
if
car.
he was coming in with like a
Yeah,
fake
like a
mustache
clown
every
guy.
time, I might have fallen for it. But like, just to change his shirt. And though I said, 11 o'clock rolls around, we're open for another hour. I'm like, all right, so we're almost done. Motherfucker walks back in the door again with a 4th shirt. I was putting him like, get the fuck out. He's like, I'll be waiting for you outside, blah. And he's like, stands there with his arms folded, staring at me out the window. And then he turns around and tells one of the cops that's on the corner to go fuck themselves, and he got arrested. So my day was interesting. His day was definitely worse. So.
Maybe it was just a misconnection situation. You're a guy that has a lot of different like T-shirts. Maybe
See,
he was just trying to relate to
like
you.
if they
maybe
were
you
like
could understand.
good shirts, I would respect it. But like they're
They
kind of
weren't
like
good.
Karl shirts, which
Like it went from like Hawaiian.
to like more Hawaiian to like a volcano, and then like Hula Girls. Finished up with a coconut bra, and that was it. That's where I called it quits. I'm like, I'm fucking done.
I appreciate you pretending that was a guy. I mean, I'm sorry I did that.
Yeah, it's
but-
okay, Sarah. I was just trying to keep your name out of the news again. You know, sweeping up
I
like a
love
little
my
college
Bella.
town.
I think when you have a bad day, it all starts with a bad hangover. And then you go to 10 bar.
That's a good point.
So
Those
you're
been
hoping
bad
that
days.
nobody
Yeah.
comes in. And it's, of course, the day that you're busy and just didn't expect it.
Right.
People are coming in as soon as you open the door. They all want booze.
It's usually Karl that's coming in when I'm hungover and don't want to work.
Well, it's because we both
Knocks
been
on
out
the door
drinking the
at
night
night.
That's
before.
true. That's true.
Let's go. Let's go. No,
Yeah.
that's a really good point. Because
Yep.
you're like,
You're not feeling good.
Yeah.
You're But you know what? I got to tell you, though, the best hangovers are when you're busy because you don't have time to think about it.
Oh, you're sweating that booze out. It's the
Yeah,
best way to
yeah.
get rid of it.
And you're almost like, I always say this too, and I feel it's just an excuse for someone that drinks too much, but I swear by it. Especially when I'm in the kitchen, I feel like I work better when I'm hungover because you're so conscious. Because you know if you make that one mistake, it's going to set you back way further than if you weren't hungover. I don't know what it is. I'm like much more careful about all my movements because everyone counts a little bit more. I'm like just like angry and sore and not feeling well, and I got a headache and. So if you're busy, but if you're like that middle ground where you keep thinking, like I think what Karl was about to say is like where like you're hoping it's dead, and then you got a few people, and then it's not, then it's dead, and then you're just like aggravated at everything. That's like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking, a working hangover. I'm not,
Yeah.
puking in the ice bins yet.
Well, that's like
No.
that's bartender's Murphy's Law. When you don't want to work, and that's the day you're going to be busy, when
Yep.
you can't mentally function, and then the days you're like, let's do this, it's like, I'm dead.
right.
Oh, no, the second you don't want to talk about anything, that's when somebody comes up to you and they're like, tell me everything there is to know about Plymouth.
Well, let me get
I
my
get
brochure
it.
out here from.
I can tell you about whatever tap is in my visual right now. That's about it.
I'll tell you what, that's like right before. So we open at 11:30 at Speedwell, and like any minute before that, like I prepared like after 11:30 to talk to people and whatever. But if someone tries to come in at like fucking 11:25, like we left the door unlocked or whatever, I'm just like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, I don't want to talk to you.
I got 5 more minutes.
Yeah, okay, I don't have to go into character yet. Like,
Sorry,
it's
buddy,
like-
I don't open for 30 more seconds. Get
Oh,
the
dude,
fuck-
and seriously, like I just like you flip the switch, but dude, and that could set a whole day off too.
Oh, that's
It's
where
like-
most of my bad days start, where somebody either walks in when we're closed, so we're closed Monday and Tuesday. Usually the lights are off aside from one. All the chairs are up on the tables, and somebody walks in and then yells, hello?
Oh,
And
yeah.
lights are off. It's dim. I walk down. I'm like, "Hi, how can I help you?" They're like, "Oh, I saw you were closing the sign, but I saw that there was this one little light on."
Yeah, it's for you. We put that one on for you.
Or you get the stupid questions. I've had somebody walk in the bar the other day, and they came in and they said, I like hoppy... No, what they say? They said, I like IPAs, but I don't like hoppy beers. What do you think I should get?
Bud Light.
I'll serve you a Budweiser on the back of a rabbit, dude.
You know,
I'm
Or they come in, and it's 11:45. We just opened. And the first customer is in there, and they look around. And I say, oh, sit anywhere you'd like. And they look around and say, can we sit over here? I just said you could sit wherever you want.
Anywhere but
There's
there.
nobody here. There's nobody here.
It's crazy though, but it drives you nuts, right?
Yep.
Like it's just that little thing, like and there's the one that I thought
Nobody wants to sit if it's an empty restaurant. But if you have a full restaurant and somebody's just getting up, everybody's
Dirty table.
diving for that
Yeah,
table.
nothing's
Everybody's diving for that
Fist
table.
fighting,
just
pushing
about
babies.
to say that. Or you could have 5 open tables, one of them's dirty, and that's the one they
Yeah.
go to.
Yep.
What is it
But
about
it's a-
dirty
that's a new
dishes and
thing.
stuff?
Or you have those people
I don't
that come
know.
in
Like,
and they
seek to
start
warm.
rearranging your dining room because they want tables put together and they start doing everything.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Oh,
Dude.
we're putting the tables together. No, you're not.
No.
And you know what? And if they asked, I would have said, oh, yeah, put those two together. But now I'm so
No,
pissed
it's a
off
spiteful
because they
guy.
try to do it themselves.
Yep. Right.
And I'm like, no, you can't put those two together.
Right.
Oh,
No. Any other two in
Yeah,
the room
no.
would have been fine, but because you went for it without asking me.
See,
But then they ask you, and you're like, why are you asking me?
I had to give back to the world and just walk into people's houses and rearrange their furniture. It's like, oh, no, I can't put these two chairs together.
Or walk into their job 10 minutes early and say,
Rearrange their desk.
hello?
Well, do you guys ever get the people who walk in? It's like 10 minutes earlier than you open. They're like, "Is it okay if we just sit here? Like, you want to watch me get ready?"
Right.
Like,
right.
I might already be ready, but like, I
Right.
just need this 10 minutes. Like, just give it to me. I don't even care if you sit outside and watch me through the window, but just give me my 10 minutes.
And the expectation too is once they sit down that everything is ready. Like they don't even the people that come in 10 minutes early and do that, and they seem like really nice and like they're understanding at first, and then once they sit down, they're like, she doesn't even give us a menu yet. And it's like, well, we just told you we're open for 10 more minutes. Like, what? But they do. They stare at you like, do they know we're here? Like, well, no, technically not until 11:30. We're completely blocking you out of our line of vision. Sorry, like that's. We need our 10 minutes as much as you didn't want to stand outside for 10 minutes. You decided to take mine, so that can totally set a whole friggin' day off.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then you can think of it, talking about bad days and customers coming in. Isn't that the reason why customers go to a bar? Because they had a bad day
True.
and they go out for a drink.
True.
And
So
they just want to mumble at the bartender or the person next to them. And
that's what I do.
Which I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Most of them are great. Most
Yeah.
of the people who come in,
Most
they
of them
want to
are good.
vent. They want to vent. They want to laugh about what they have to vent about. But when you have that person who comes in, they're like somebody stuck it to me today. So just out of spite, I'm going to tell you everything you're doing is wrong.
well, I'll
It's
tell you
like-
what pisses me
Yeah.
off. And, maybe I'm old school, but when somebody sits at the bar and they, I don't know what the frick, Skype somebody or whatever the hell you call it, and they're talking like really loud at the bar, or they're
Or on
watching a video
speakerphone?
and it's really, really
Yeah.
loud at the bar. I'm like, go
Right.
somewhere else. So I turn the music up, they turn their freaking phone up, I turn my music up more, and now nobody can hear anything.
That's when you unplug the fucking Wi-Fi.
But I'll tell you, well, if you're going to do that, go step outside.
Yeah.
Don't sit at the bar.
Yeah.
And start yelling Japanese into a phone because you're talking to your brother that's in Japanese land, whatever the hell he lives.
Japanese.
Japan.
There you go.
Sounds
Took a little
like
while.
you have a specific person in mind for this one.
It could be any language, but if you're going to order a beer from me and you're on your phone, I'm not going to pay attention to you.
Oh,
You're
I
gonna
won't
sit there
go
and
up
do
to
the one
anyone on
more.
that
I'm
phone.
going to sit there and go, okay, and then
Right.
start doing the dishes.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree with that, and honestly, I catch myself doing it all the time because I go out like to have lunch. I rarely go out with more than one person. I usually just go out by myself and have lunch like real quick. Like before I got here, I had dinner at Chili's, and because it's right across the way, I need to put some food in my stomach. And I was on my phone, and then I put my phone on. I'm like, oh man, she hasn't taken my order yet. I'm like, well, because you're sitting there staring at your goddamn phone, look like you're like involved in something.
Right.
She doesn't want to interrupt you. Put the phone down, put the order in, and then go back to whatever the hell you were doing. But yeah, absolutely. If you're sitting at the bar, you're basically saying I'm next up. You're putting yourself in line, and that's like going to the bank and being in line on your phone, and then when the bank teller you're up next in line, you just sit there on your phone. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. You can't do that. Send in a tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that.
FaceTiming Karl.
Right.
Insta-facing you.
Yep.
Right?
All my Japanese friends.
Exactly. In Japan land.
Japan.
Karl's new theme park. But like speaking of bad days, like what was like you ever seen customers have the most ridiculous bad day at your bar?
Yeah.
Because I got to see a lady find out she was getting divorced at one of my bars by her husband dropping her off, saying I'm going to go park the car, and then never coming back.
So she found out right then and there.
Oh yeah.
Was that at BBC?
Not the
Danvers?
Plymouth one. No, Framingham.
Oh.
The Wild West.
So somebody dropped their wife off at the bar and never
Oh
came
yeah,
back.
they're like, hey, you go get a seat at the bar. I'm gonna go park the car, and then he's
and that was his way of saying we're getting divorced.
Yeah, and
So
then
how long did it take for her to realize?
she was like good 15 minutes, and then like the phone rings, and she starts bawling her eyes out. And of
Oh, my
course,
God.
at that point, she's a sharer, so she shared to us, and I'm like,
Of course.
oh,
Well, you're there. You're the
yeah,
therapist.
yeah. I was like, well, I don't know how to deal with this, so I'm gonna go to the other side of the bar.
Just
Oh,
let her
I
alone.
don't know. Hey, you know what? We're not married, so I didn't agree for better or worse.
Jesus.
But there's nothing more
Christ.
awkward than you have like a random crying person that like.
I could say more awkward is someone pulling out their own air and trying to eat it, but
Yeah, that's true. That's a different level of awkward. I think
That's true.
That's
That's
crackhead
true.
awkward, and this is.
That's a
What's
middle
that?
thing. It's,
that was, yeah, pulling that was yeah. I had a terrible accent, Andy. That's true. That's tough. I don't know how I would handle that.
But have you ever had that crying customer at the bar? Like, hey,
Yeah.
like, what do you do? I'm like, do you need anything? And then never come back.
Right,
Until you
right,
stop
right.
crying. But I don't know. I mean, what about you guys? What's like have you seen
I
someone
haven't
have
had
that?
any criers.
No,
I've had
ever.
a lot of employees cry, but never people at the bar.
So you made someone's bad day.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've had employees come in all happy, and by the time 10 minutes into it, they're Don't wanna be
10
there.
minutes is longer than I thought you'd give them.
yeah, I don't know. I'm with Karl. I don't think I've had many criers come in, but it's usually like a staff member that comes in like a little disturbed about something, and it's like trying to balance that out.
You ever have a couple sit at the bar and argue?
Yeah.
You ever been the couple that sat at a bar?
No, I refuse.
I'm not going to get into the latter, but I've definitely had customers sit at the bar and argue. And then when
Are you
like
talking
one of
couples, or are you talking like a couple of guys going?
it
out
could be
and
a couple guys, but I think the first one that popped in my mind was like a couple, whether it be married or not, girlfriend and boyfriend or something like that. I've definitely had that more than once. And then like the fucked up thing is, so they're so sick of each other that when one of them gets up to run outside and cry or go to the bathroom,
They
the
wanna
other one
unload it.
wants to talk to you about how crazy they are. Like, can you believe this shit? Blah, blah. And you're like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man, let me clean
sorry,
this
I got
mug
something
over
to do
here.
over
Yeah.
here.
Or how about the people that are making out at the bar?
Oh.
Like, dude, it's 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're making out with your wife. You're both 50 years old. Jesus
Right.
Christ,
Yep.
what the hell's wrong with you?
That's
I haven't made out with my wife in years.
At least for it to get dark out and stuff like that.
that's another couple that's not getting a drink from me.
Right, right.
I'll wait till you're finished.
The mouth's occupied. They don't need a drink.
Just walk over and stare at them.
I had a couple
Like,
that came in
room
and they
for one
started
more?
arguing. They were perfectly fine. They showed up. It was actually a girl I knew like a long time ago. Like, so made that connection, thought everything was great. And then all of a sudden they leave. Keys are left on the table. So I'm like, I'll run out front and see if they're still out there. So I run out there and they're bickering in the parking lot, standing by the car. She's bawling, he's yelling. And I'm just sitting there on the corner holding the keys like, I don't really know what to do at this point. Like, do I just throw them and run?
Skip them to them.
That's a good one. I've had a couple try taking me home one night.
There you go.
Ooh,
Yeah, it was about
To do what?
clean.
I'm glad I didn't find out. So they weren't older. They were like probably early to mid 40s. You could tell they were on the weirder side, like freakier side. They were there a lot. They were regulars of mine on Sunday nights. And I'm friendly. I'm just naturally just talking to people, whatever. And
And their
like,
keys were on the bar.
no, they left.
They bring out their own fishbowl.
yeah.
Put the upside down pineapple.
The dude like got my phone number just by like asking me about music and stuff and da da da. And we were friends. I I'm so oblivious. I didn't even vibe how weird they were. But and again, this is about 7 years, about 50 pounds ago. So I was a little bit more fun to probably look at back then, surely, than I am now. I'm not saying much, but but yeah, dude. So at the end of one night, there was a hotel that opened up across the street from the bar I was working at that was like pretty new. And the dude was like, "Yeah, you should come hang out with us sometime." And I was just going right over my head. And he dropped his hotel key on the bar as a tip.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I text him, I'm like, yo, you left your hotel key here. Like, you forgot to sign your credit card slip and you left your hotel key here. Like, hey, you're not going to be able to get in your hotel. He's like, no, that's for you. And I'm like, I don't need a hotel room. I live up the street. And he's like, no, you're going to come by and hang out with me and my wife and have some fun. And I was like, that, dude, I tried getting rid of that shift. I do, like, everything. Like, try getting rid of that shift. I got the next 2 Sunday nights covered. Like, I was so nervous to see this dude again. Then finally, like, why didn't you show... He started texting me, like, a couple weeks ago, why didn't you show up? My wife's really into you, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, dude, listen, totally misread. I'm friendly. I'm not into that sort of thing. And he's, like, trying to convince me. And I'm like, dude, that was some of the worst shifts I've ever worked in my life. Like, Sundays for the next 3 months were the most awkward, worst shifts I worked in my life because I totally misread that couples situation. And this whole time I thought I was just being friendly. I was getting good tips. And they were like swingers.
Swinger night, Sunday nights.
I much would have rather had an arguing couple.
I mean, looking back on it, though, are you flattered?
No, it's still it still makes me feel wicked uncomfortable. But
for me, it's like a aw. No, fuck off, but aw.
Oh yeah, that was messed up. Couples at the bar can be tricky too, man. Like, and I always tell a story, and I won't name names, but there was a couple that was hitting on a bartender at my bar, and I had to step in and like ban that couple from coming in for this specific reason. I feel bad for some of the girls that work behind the bar because they get that a lot from couples. Like, they're like,
you can't really be that friendly with people because it's easy for them to misconstrue it. And
well, the bartender's going to be everybody's friend.
You have to be everybody's friend.
It's tough. You got to work for that money.
right.
I've had people who have, like, you lock the door at the end of the night and they sit out there and they're waiting. And they'll come up and knock on the glass like, hey, like, I just wanted to wait out. I thought we would, like, go get a drink. And it's like, yeah,
That's a little creepy.
Yeah.
Especially when you're by yourself, it's like, I'm going to turn off all the lights, pretend I went out the back.
That's what Karl does on Wednesday afternoons at New World. Same thing. Yeah.
It's like 3 in the afternoon, I shut off the lights and go out the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually he's running from me. I don't know what I did.
Kind of taking it off because we went on a little bit tangent with just the contact with customers with bad days. But personally, some of my worst days have ever come along with POS systems. Oh. And the thing you walk into, you think it's just going to always automatically work. You take it for granted. You punch in on it. You punch out on it. All your money goes through it. And if that thing goes wrong, then you're completely screwed. I've actually worked at a place where the POS system doubled. It was like an old glitchy system, and it doubled all the fucking tabs, and we were super slammed. So we'd go to close out a tab, and it was like, error, this is the wrong one, blah, 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 blah. But how about just like functionality? Like things you rely on, whether it be a dishwasher, a POS system, running water, electricity, something very relevant in Speedwell's recent couple months. But I can't even count how many times I thought I was going to have a really good day. It always happens when you're wicked busy.
Yep.
Always happens when you're wicked busy. And, POS systems.
Yeah, nothing goes down on a Monday night.
Never.
Nope.
Monday's the safest day to do anything important.
Yep. Right. It really is. Or even just like a piece of kitchen equipment. Like, we have a really small kitchen at Speedwell, man. And if one fryer goes down, or like half of a friggin' grill, I don't think that ever happens. It's usually the whole grill. It ruins the whole day. It's the whole day. You have some asshole laying across your kitchen, pretending he can fix it, and your food output's all screwed up. It just screws up the whole flow of a place. One stupid little thing
equipment
like that.
is going to fail.
Right.
My problem is, how come nobody told me it failed?
Like the day
So
before.
I'll have a day off, and I'll come in the next day, and they'll say, oh, yeah, the ice machine's been broken for 2 days. Really? Did anybody tell anybody?
Right. Way to get ice.
You know?
Whoa,
And, it could be something simple if somebody unplugged it thinking it was the light over here or thinking that it was the blender or something,
Yep.
Well, we thought we were scooping snow off the sidewalk. We thought that's what you would wanted us to do.
Yeah,
They tell you when
they don't tell you. They don't tell you.
Right.
But, they'll call you in the middle of the night at 1 o'clock in the morning.
When the cat kicks.
And say, we're out of dimes.
What do you want me to do?
But the fire alarm goes off and nobody tells you about that until you come in the next day and the fire chief comes in and says, we have to do your inspection because your alarm went off last night. Really? Nobody mentioned that.
Right.
Yeah, I get a lot of walking in, kind of inspecting things myself, and then I send out a mass text to everybody letting them know, like, hey, we encountered this issue. Just so you know, like, if you ever see this again, and then I get the message back, like, oh, yeah, that's been happening all weekend.
Yeah.
I walked into a broken window, and I was like, hey, when does this window break? I don't know. It wasn't broken yesterday.
Yep.
Like, well, it's been broken
And
for
nobody
someone
did it.
broke the
It's like
window.
having a bunch
Right.
of kids. Nobody did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't
Boy.
see it. I didn't see it.
I didn't break it this morning.
It was like that when I got in.
Yeah.
That was you and I used to throw darts from like really far away upstairs at BBC. It could have been us.
It's surprising. It's never that window. It's like the random ones.
I was going to say, were you throwing darts in the men's room?
Could have been.
It's not the weirdest thing he's done.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, I don't know. There's just a lot of things that could contribute to a really bad day, I guess.
Every keg kicks on you.
Every
When
keg
you-
kicks
Yes.
on you.
In 5 minutes. Yeah.
Right. That's a really good one.
It's always first thing in the morning, too, when you're the only, you staff yourself for like
Oh, I wish
one
it was
person.
first thing. I get it at like 5 o'clock on a Friday night when.
Oh, I
getting
get that. Like,
crushed.
the
Right.
CO2 is dead. There's
That's a good
no
one.
kegs
Yep.
in there, and nobody's in the building.
Right.
Everybody just happened to go to lunch during that hour, and every keg kicks.
They all did it on purpose.
Conspiracy.
Have fun,
They literally
Sarah.
go and shake the kegs. They're like, Sarah's going to be here by herself between like 12 and 1.
Cut the CO2.
And it always happens on the day, like you wake up, you got a bad review. You get on your phone for the restaurant from the night before. You show up, the ice machine's not working. Why the hell didn't anybody text me last night? That was on the bad review. They didn't even have ice. And then, and then you come in, you cut yourself while cutting fruit. There's no gas to the beer. It always seems to come in clusters.
Yep.
It really does. And then your first customer's an asshole. Probably the guy from the night before that wrote the review.
Showing
about
up
the ice.
5 minutes too early.
Yep, showing
Or
up
they
5
open.
minutes too early. Yep. Oh, your open flag's not out yet because we're not fucking open.
You didn't put your chairs down yet. I'm like, well, we open in an hour. You do
Dude,
it.
it's crazy. And you know what? A lot of people listening now probably can relate, whether they work in the industry or not. That you just walk in some days and everything goes wrong. I guess we're sort of taking it from the restaurant perspective, but we've been getting a lot of good contributions question-wise and stuff from listeners, and kind of want to jump more into the Q&A. So we're going to keep it going. We're going to listen to some of the questions you guys have, and if you have any really, really bad days that you've had at work, even if it isn't restaurant or bar related, feel free to send us an email or a message on Twitter or Instagram. Slide into our DMs, or shoot us an email at bartalkcast@gmail.com and let us know your story. We'd love to talk about it.
Maybe even Karl will read it with a funny accent.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Funny haha or funny strange?
Is that a Japan
Your
land
choice.
accent?
Yeah.
All right, so our first question is from Samantha Migley, and she says she's been at work for 12 hours now. What is the longest shift you've ever had?
12 hours is long.
So she's at work and she's texting us questions. For 12 hours must be a boring shift.
Right?
What is the longest
Oh,
shift?
it's
I
tough
think.
to say.
I think if you were talking length-wise, like actual, like cumulative minutes, the longest shift I ever had, I did a quadruple. It was when Speedwell first opened, and Chris Martelli did it with me, hair-flipping bartender at the Speedwell. But we did Parade Day. No, was it Parade Day? No. It was St. Patrick's Day. The first year we were open, St. Patrick's Day fell on a Friday, which is always obviously busy. And then they do a road race every year on the Saturday closest to St. Patrick's Day, which obviously fell on the 18th. So we did on the bar, open and close on that Friday, by ourselves, and slept on the floor of my office on a piece of cardboard from the food delivery that day, and woke up and did a double the next day for parade day. It was our first year in business, so it wasn't like as busy as it is now, but I'll never forget, that was the longest. I would count that as one shift, the 4-hour nap on the
You
basement
need the building.
floor.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah. I would say that was the longest shift of my damn life. Yeah, I'll never forget it. Sleeping on that cold-ass floor. Ugh.
Spoon and Martelli.
Well, it's tough to say.
That was the
It's
best
tough
part.
to say what the longest shift, because I'll do a bartending shift during the day, and then all of a sudden, the dishwasher doesn't show up, so I'm washing dishes for a shift, and all of a sudden after that shift, the food runner didn't show up, so you're running food after that shift, and you find that you've been there for 18 to 20 hours, pretty much nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't say that's one shift.
Right.
Well,
but it was
different jobs for each shift.
You're
I would
still
call it
working,
one shift.
though. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one shift.
Yeah, you're the utility guy. It
Yep.
just probably went by quick because you were always doing
And
something
there was
different.
just nobody else there to do it.
Right.
I had one where showed up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and this is the reason why I designed a contract for our private events. Had a private event that showed up for a 4-hour gig. It's supposed to be done by 11, 2 o'clock in the morning. They were
Nice.
finally packing
Wow.
up to get out. Mind you, no alcohol had been served in that 2-hour time frame, but they just took forever to get out. And I'll give a little credit to Jimmy Stickney, because he stuck through it with me, and then we were back the next morning at about 6:30 in the morning for our road race.
Friend
So,
of the show, Jimmy Stickney.
Jimmy
Jimmy.
Stickney, infamous.
Oof, that's a rough one.
Hair flipping Jim.
Hair flip, another hair flipper.
Yep.
There's something about long shifts and hair flippers.
Yeah, you need them. Get the hair flowing.
Really helped my buzz go.
I think I've done like 17 hours standing behind my bar
By yourself?
by myself.
Ugh,
It's a fun day.
it's tough.
Come on.
I worked 3 hours today. It was terrible.
But that's the thing. It's like something like a 2-hour shift can seem like the longest thing
yes.
ever. So.
Yep.
It really was. Everyone wanted to talk to me. It was the worst. I would have done that quadruple again instead of what I did today. 3 hours was rough. Next question.
All right, this one is from Hillary Klein, and she says this is a serious question. How does everyone...
Thanks for the clarification.
Well, I'm just reading how it is.
No, man, I'm telling
All
you.
right. Don't yell at me. You're not even on mic right now.
It's appreciated.
How does everyone here manage not to kill people obnoxiously chewing gum at their bar?
Plead the fifth.
Sarah's killed some people over it.
As long as
It's
they're not
either
chewing on
they're
their own
chewing
hair.
it. They're either chewing it or putting it on the bottom of their chair, or the
Right.
bottom of the bar.
Yeah.
I'd rather have them chew it
See, I get a
than
lot
have me
that just
find it
ask
the
me.
next day.
Fantastic answer. I can't top that.
My thing is, so I'm a little different because I'm not serving food and stuff like that. But I get the people who sit there and order a beer after they ask me for a napkin to spit their gum out, and then they're like, "This tastes off."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Might be that
the
spearmint you
spearmint?
just
Yeah,
had.
but
Yeah.
Macaroni and
sometimes
cheese.
they're still chewing it. They tuck it in their cheek, and I'm like,
This tastes weird.
So I guess
Alright.
it's your pet peeve. Some people that doesn't bother.
Yeah,
them.
it doesn't
Some
really
people
bother
it
me.
bothers them.
Related.
well, I think it's just obnoxious.
The chew is what pisses the
Yeah.
dip. The dip. Can I get a cup? Can I get a cup?
Yeah.
And they're sitting on my boss spitting while drinking a beer. And
Well, then they want you to throw it away for them.
yeah, and I'm like, and then or even worse. Actually, the people that ask you for a plastic cup, I'm like more tolerant of. It's the people that are spitting into the beer bottle or spitting
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
glass, and then you dump it into your like strainer behind the bar, and you're like reaching in there, grab out the straws and the fruit so you can melt the ice, and you're like got a handful of their nasty ass chew. Oh, dude, you're the biggest fucking douchebag.
I love the people that come in and say, "Hey, your wireless is really slow." Don't use it.
Sorry, Karl.
It's
I
free.
do business over there, dude. Come on, upgrade your shit.
I had a guy last week that was like, "Hey, do you have open Wi-Fi?" I'm like, "Yeah, there's a public one." He's like, "Oh, I haven't opened it yet."
Why don't we
Why
look-
did you try
let's look
before you come up
first,
to the
yeah.
bar and seek me out? Like,
Ugh. Go chew on some gum.
and yes, it is slow.
Okay. Jason Chu.
You say his last name was Chew?
Yeah. Not making it up. So I was debating this with my bartender last night and wanted to get some different opinions. My bar charges $20 per shot for Don Julio 1942. Say a customer comes in and buys 5 shots for him and his buddies, bring his total to $100. Pouring the shot took the bartender less than 30 seconds to pour. As the bartender, would you expect a $20 tip or a $5 tip?
20.
20.
Yeah, 20.
Yep.
I think if you're a high roller and you're going to buy high roller shots, you got to expect to tip a little bit more.
And, if it took them 20 seconds to get the shots out, that's good service by the bartender. If it took them an hour and a half, are you going to tip them more because it took longer to do?
Right.
Not to mention $20 for Don Julio 1942 is not a bad price.
No, it's actually pretty good.
I would like to know where that's being poured.
Yeah, see?
I'll treat that.
Mr. Chu, right back in and tell us where to come. See you.
But yeah, I would expect a $20 tip on that.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
I would say so. Absolutely.
Yep.
If you're gonna act like a high roller, you can't just like halt everything when it comes to the gratuity. I mean, if you're gonna spend $20 on a shot, it's like when you tip $1. You don't have a problem tipping $1 on a $5 Bud Light, even though I did was.
Well, that's my
twist the
thing.
cap.
Anything under
But because you
$10,
spend
one
more
buck a
money-
drink.
Right.
Aside from that, and once you go over the $10 limit, you're tipping your 20%.
And then, who was that? Matthew Chu?
Yeah, Chew guy.
Jason Chu.
Right.
Jason Chu.
Yeah.
Tell Jason I want him to think about the questions a little harder next time before he sends them.
I don't personally know him, Carl.
Instagram him.
I still can't get over the fact
You have
that
Carl's number.
We went on a rant about gum and chewing tobacco, and the next guy's question, his name was fucking Jason Chu. I'm sorry. Am I the only one that finds that amazing? Anyway, I'm sorry.
Good coincidence.
Yeah.
All right, this one is
Planned.
from Shannon Ritchie. What do you all think of customers who bring in outside food for their kids, meaning McDonald's, Wendy's, and not food from home?
Don't care because I don't have food. So.
Yeah, Mike, you and I are
Bring
kind
whatever
of
the fuck you wanted.
We're against it. I mean, if somebody wants to bring in Cheerios for their little kid because that's all they can eat, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, Cheerios, fruit.
But
stuff
don't
like
bring in
that.
a hamburger from another place. I don't care if it's McDonald's or a Happy Meal or whatever. Don't bring in food into another restaurant.
I agree. I think if
What?
you've been to, all right, so I'll put it this way: if you've been to my place before and you wanted mac and cheese on the kid menu, and we're not doing mac and cheese on the kid menu, and you brought a little cup of mac and cheese from home, that's fine. But if you come in with a Whopper Jr. and a side of fries and a Diet Coke, I'm going to tell you, eat it in the car.
Right.
It's just, we're doing a business here. You're taking up a seat where someone could be eating something that I'm providing. You don't walk into an auto body shop and do your own fucking buffing and waxing. You know what I mean? It's just, you don't do that.
It's like somebody walking into the brewery and bringing in a bottle of wine. Like, oh no, you don't serve this though.
Correct.
It's still not appropriate.
Thank you, Sarah. That's a perfect analogy.
By the way, don't do that.
All right, this one's from Letitia Contreras. What do you all do when a customer doesn't acknowledge your greeting?
I guess I'll go fuck myself then.
What do I say or what do I think?
Doesn't acknowledge your greeting.
Yeah, my resident bartender, like full-time bartender Kim, is great at making fun of this because she's behind the bar more than anybody, and she greets everybody that walks in. And I'd say, from what she tells me, it's probably about half, but it might be a little bit less. It's just you remember the dickheads more. But hey, honey, how are you? Bud Light. Like, oh, dude, she gets it more than anybody, I think. Like, hey, honey, how are you? Can I get a PBR? Like, dude, that's the biggest fucking. And you're like, sure, I'm PBR too. Here you go. Like, I don't know. I can't remember exactly what I did when people did that, but I just fucking went up my ass.
I mean, like you said, I think like, oh yeah, fuck me, right? But
yeah, I'll go fuck myself.
I'll
Sure.
just keep following you, saying hi.
Yeah, right, until you respond.
Yeah.
I said hello.
Right.
But what's worse, when you ask someone how they're doing and they actually tell you,
Yes.
or
Ooh,
that.
yeah.
So
Yes.
Well played, Dan.
Well, sometimes you got to give the benefit of the doubt. If it's a group, sometimes they legitimately just don't hear you. But it's
Right.
when that person is literally like staring right at you and you say it, and they're like, "Oh, you made me wait 20 seconds."
Right. A lot of people are nervous when they walk into a place maybe they never walked into before, too.
They don't know how
Where
it
they're like
works.
kind of feeling the place out and they don't really even register
It's
that.
a panic order.
Right. So I guess the trigger finger's got to be a little easy on that, but
It's one of
I
those
agree
things.
with Dan.
But common courtesy.
Don't answer
Yeah.
that question. It's rhetorical.
It kind of goes up your, it goes up your spine a little bit, but you kind of accept it.
Right. You're kind of looking for it, too. If you get that pissed off by it, you're kind of hoping someone doesn't.
Yes.
You know what I
You're
mean?
looking for it.
You're looking for it a little bit.
Okay, this one comes from Courtney Lamb, and she says, so, question. She has to let you know it's a question.
Thanks, Gordon.
Is it a serious question?
Doesn't say so.
Oh.
It says, what does everyone use for energy that doesn't give you a horrible crash? I've been gaining a few pounds from energy drinks and late night fast food because I'm too tired to cook. What's you all go to?
Good night's sleep and a lot of water.
When the fuck have you ever had that?
It's probably not since 8th grade. I'm always tired. Don't have a kid. Yeah, stay away from those fucking energy drinks, man. Those things, they're meant for you to, like, go mountain biking. They're not meant for you to, like, I don't know, man. I don't think they're meant for really anything.
Listen, there's some shifts where I feel like I went mountain biking, so I drink 5-hour energies, so...
Well, yeah, all right.
You drink your water.
See, I actually did a college study on 5-hour energy drinks. And
I don't want to hear about it.
Yes,
I know I'm going to die.
go.
No, we're going to get into this,
Let's
Dan.
go.
We're going to go into this. So it's designed for a specific body type. So it's a 165-pound male.
Okay.
That's
so
your
I drink
average
2
build.
About right
So
there.
you're talking about somebody who has, you know, they're fit, but they're not muscular. So you're metabolizing it differently. So if I have a 5-hour energy, my heart's going to explode.
Well, why don't you have half of it?
That's 2.5
My heart will
hours
still
of energy.
explode. I'm going to have a quarter
You
of
have
it.
just a little sip.
A little sip I will be okay with.
There
But
you
I have
go.
to have food with it. But you have to keep that in mind. If you're not doing your regular activities, you're sitting at a desk job, it's going to screw with you.
All the things I don't do,
Yep.
you got to do. You got to do push-ups. You got to have 30 minutes of sustained
Cardio.
Yep. You got to have a healthy diet. Drink a lot of water. Get a good amount of sleep. Do all those things, and you won't have to. But you're a bartender, so you won't be able to.
So Red
Yeah.
Bull, 5-hour energies.
Yep.
I heard drug. No.
Espresso is actually, you know what I've been
Cocaine.
finding?
I was gonna
say cocaine.
Cocaine's great.
Second time that's come up today.
Adderall has been a great drug for all my bartenders lately. They don't think I know, but I know. Tea. Tea is awesome. Tea is stronger than coffee, and it's better on the stomach. So if you want to get away from the energy drinks and get that same boost, if you just do straight up black tea, even if you want to throw a little sugar in it, not like what an energy drink has, tea is a really good boost, man. Just black tea or green tea is really good. Chai has got a lot of caffeine in it. If you're looking to spice it up for the holidays, I would go with just
Little Earl
straight
Grey.
tea. Earl Grey is awesome.
Little
That's what I
slice of
drink in the
lemon.
morning. Yep. And it's easy on the stomach. It's not like coffee. It doesn't rip you up and give you heartburn. And you don't get that same... I don't find that I get that same kind of crash. I would recommend tea. Yeah, tea's good.
Shotgun Red Bulls.
Stay away.
Next question.
Bull's piss.
All right, this comes from Melissa Malochi.
Melissa Malochi.
Malochi.
fun to say.
That's exactly how it's pronounced, I'm sure. Where you work, does the wait staff tip out the kitchen staff, and what percent?
No.
No, I didn't know there was a thing.
We've dabbled in it a little bit, and it's only for specific instances. If there is a giant takeout order during open hours, and we know about it like a day ahead of time, and the kitchen's doing, so I'm a wing and burger place. If the kitchen's doing 200 wings and bunch of appetizers and stuff like that, like a $500, even if it's just a $100 takeout order, and the server didn't answer the phone and take the order, it was put ahead of time, and they didn't, the kitchen packaged it, and they labeled it, and they did all this. And when someone comes to pick up that order and they tip $20 on that $100 or $200 order, if they're generous, takeout, that's kind of generous for some people. I asked the bartender or the server to give it to the kitchen because the bar, I punched in the order. I took the order because it was ahead of time, so they all go through me or another manager. And the bar didn't do anything. All they did was swipe the card.
Give
You
them a
guys,
high five on the way out.
yeah, and that's it. And they didn't help them take it out to their car. They didn't do any of that. They're too busy making drinks. And they're making so much more money than the kitchen staff that, yeah, I wish there was a way maybe that on high volume days I could tip the kitchen staff, but it's just so complicated. I've tried it at previous restaurants. There's too much gray area. It gets really ugly. The staff pits against each other. But with takeout orders, especially pre-orders like Super Bowl and stuff like that, where there's nobody at the bar, there's nobody in the dining room because everybody's having house parties. Super Bowl is a great example, but we're doing thousands of dollars of food in the kitchen. Yeah, they all split tips. Like, I'm sorry, the kitchen guys worked way harder than you today. Yeah, they're getting paid more per hour, but they did everything So you're lucky you're even splitting it with them. Or those big takeout orders, they don't split at all because there's half the time the bartender's doing all your kitchen dishes. They're taking out your trash. They're doing this. They're doing that. And you don't give them anything the rest of the year. So that dozen times a year where they're doing that $100 to $200 takeout order, yeah, you should throw them $20. I'm sorry. You're going to be fine. You're going to be able to pay your rent.
You should at least buy them a round of drinks after the shift.
I know, but a lot of them don't drink. And that's
yeah,
they all smoke
that's
vape pens now. So if you want to go out and get them a gift certificate, that's fine. Do it on your own time. Get them a vape, whatever. But I think the easiest clean-cut way to do it is if there's a $200 takeout order and there's a $20 tip, and you didn't take that order and you didn't wait on that customer, they showed up, they picked it up, and you didn't do anything but swipe their card, that tip goes to the kitchen.
I agree.
That's something, I think that's a great question for everybody over here. I mean...
But no, the answer, I think, to the question is no. The staff does not tip out the kitchen.
No. In general, they do not.
In general, in the restaurants that we have, there are some places that everybody's paid an hourly rate and they all split tips.
Right.
But that's a whole different realm, and I think
buffet
that's less
restaurants,
and less.
stuff like that.
Yep.
I know
what
they
about
do
like
that.
the hibachi restaurants?
Yep, they do that
Do
because they have
split it?
performers, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right, and that's sort of different too because you're front and center. You're not hiding in the kitchen, and you got to put on a show as much as the bartender.
Right.
Yeah, those. Yeah, I would hope at a hibachi restaurant
Right.
that it goes
That
at least
motherfucker's
even.
flipping eggs, making volcanoes out of onions.
How did he get that shrimp in my pocket?
Dude, I don't know. Wizards.
Crazy.
All right, this one comes from Erica Romero. This is a quick question, Karl. It says,
That's the way we like them.
actually, this one, I'm going to do my best to kind of explain what I think she means.
Oh, jeez, I thought you said it was a quick question.
Well, I'm sure when she wrote it, it was. It says, I'm currently transitioning from a driver/barman to a pizza and saute cook. Any good pants to wear for cooking? I'm going to be driving AM shift and cook PM shift. So it sounds like she has two jobs.
Change of clothes.
Well, at least, yeah.
Two pairs of pants.
Yeah. Some of my staff doesn't even wear pants.
Yeah, they wear those aprons, right?
What does she do during
Just
the day?
aprons, tidy whities and
yeah.
aprons.
Sounds
not
like
the kitchen.
a pizza delivery. And,
She delivers pizza during the day.
I mean, I definitely think you
and
need-
bartends at night. And sounds like at night she's going to become a saute chef.
So she cooks.
If you're going from
wear the chef
driver
pants.
to cooking, I think you can wear the same stuff. But if you're going from cooking to driving, you're going to be covered in food and all that shit.
I think the new thing is just wear your pajamas like everybody else.
Jordan was wearing his yoga pants earlier today. It was fucked up.
I was gonna say as a chubby
Because I
white
had the
guy,
same ones on.
I would say cargo shorts are perfect for everything. You can wear cargo shorts anywhere with your highway socks, white New Balances, and your Hawaiian shirt, and you'll be just fine.
Yep.
Any instance in life.
Forgot the vest.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's
it's a
cold.
woman that's asking the question.
It is
was
a
a
woman.
woman.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with that? She can wear
They
all
can-
those things.
No,
2018.
She can't wear cargo shorts?
no,
Why not?
Why not?
that's a manly thing.
They're yoga cargo shorts.
Oh yeah, no, those.
I have some out in my car. I will come and bring
Yeah, those you
them
can
in.
wear.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what's great? A great brand that doesn't get recognized, I don't think, really, for kitchen stuff, unless you go straight up and buy, like, chef pants, is Dickies. Dickies is good.
Oh, I love good.
Yeah, Dickies is good. It's like it can withstand both, and you can kind of pull it off as like a regular khaki during the day before it's dirty, and you can work in it at night. And
Can't go wrong with a good dickie.
nope. Ask Karl.
Dun, dun.
All right, that's last call.
Last call.
Last call.
Last call.
Last
The portion
call.
of the show. Clean it out. Empty the bench. Everybody gets a couple minutes to say what's on their mind. Doesn't have to pertain to what we talked to today. Something coming up at their business. Something they just feel like talking about. I'm going to pass it over to our guest, Sarah.
Oh,
Last
boy.
call.
Oh, well, I mean, we have so many things that go on. I just want people to stay tuned. So Sarah again with Mayflower Brewing Company. We have a ton of new beers coming out this year. I got great things coming up. So we have a planned cornhole tournament that we're going to try and do this winter. And I was speaking with our very own Karl about doing a darts tournament. And then, of course, our May time open house. So,
Love the open house.
yeah, it's a great time.
$3.99.
$3.99, yeah, $3.99 is coming out this year. We're retiring $3.98, so $3.99. We've got some recipes in the work. So just stay tuned. Follow us on Facebook and come in and visit me or Jimmy Stickney, Jimbo.
Hair flip Jim.
Hair flip Jim.
Hair flip
Jim. Karl Heine, the New World Tavern. Come on down, Plymouth Center. Good food, great owner. fun bands.
Which band?
It depends on what band comes in. Yeah,
Okay.
I always tell the band that comes in that they're the best.
To be fun.
Yeah,
I like it.
some of these, I don't know, they play new age music. I'm like, where's the disco, man? People love that shit.
Bring the
Anyway,
disco
come
ball
on down, listen to some disco. We do breakfast Friday, Saturday, Sundays. If you're lucky, I'll be there, and maybe we can listen to a little disco. Disco Friday breakfasts at the New
Like
World
it.
Tavern.
I'm going to start coming in for that.
All right.
Dan Mahoney, BBC. I interrupted Karl Art, so I'm just going to say happy holidays to everybody, since this will be coming out maybe around there. If not, then I hope you had a great holiday, and
You can't say happy holidays anymore.
I can.
But you
All right, have a
it's
mediocre day.
Indigenous Holidays Day.
Indigenous Holidays Day.
I'm gonna get in trouble for that.
Yeah, that you're going to get.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know why. I can't figure out how, but yeah.
Dude,
Does
I've been
anybody
watching way too much South Park.
Does anybody want to close out with Baby It's Cold Outside?
Yeah.
We're really get in trouble. And I'll finish it up since I unfairly just pawned it on someone else. I want to talk about Karl and Jordan have a bet. We picked a date, January 28th at the New World Tavern. We got some details to iron out, but those of you who remember...
That's the last day in January, everybody. That's how you remember it.
I don't think that's true. It's the last Monday in January. But last year, Karl and I made a bet on some football, and we donated a bunch of money to the Plymouth Area Coalition for the Homeless. I believe we're sticking with the same charity this year.
I'm not sure. I thought we decided to do the Minimet Boys and Girls Club.
Ooh, we may have done that.
To be determined.
To be determined. We got a lot of kinks to iron out. But we're going to stay with the arm wrestling, for sure.
I believe so.
Yep. And I'm currently still haven't lost the bet. I bet that Tom Brady would have 28 or less touchdowns this year.
You have 29 and less.
28 and less. You have 29 and over.
All right.
28 is my lucky number. That's how I know. And it's on the 28th. But I'm feeling really good about this. After that loss to the Miami
He threw
Dolphins
3
last
touchdowns.
night. He did throw 3 touchdowns. I guess it doesn't matter if they win or lose. Anyway, January 28th, check New World Tavern.
What's the loser have to do?
The loser has to, I don't know.
Yeah, to be determined.
Also to be determined.
Yeah.
Because last year it was too busy to really
Yeah,
torture each other.
I know it.
We're going to be better organized about it this year. Obviously, it's going to take a little longer to get organized. But January 28th, New World Tavern. I think that is Pro Bowl, post-Pro Bowl weekend, right before the Monday before the Super Bowl. Check on New World Tavern and Speedwell Tavern's Facebook for updates on the event. But either way, it's going to be for a really good cause. It was an excellent time last year. We had all the local, restaurants and local breweries participate last year. We're looking forward to it being even bigger this year and raising more money. So please stay tuned on that. And for Sarah, Dan, and Karl, I would like to thank Inebria for having us and Mayflower Brewery for also having us today. We are the Bar Talk Podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Welcome back, listeners. And before we enter into today's podcast, I just wanted to give a shout out to the Plymouth Youth Organization's Winterfest. If you happen to be in the area, you definitely don't want to miss this. Last year was their first one. They shut down Main Street. There were all sorts of street performers. There was a laser light show. There was a circus at Memorial Hall. There was musicians. We had an art show. Tons to do. It was a gorgeous night. It might have been a little chilly, but it's the end of December. It's supposed to be chilly. So this year they're doing it again. It's for a great cause, the Plymouth Youth Organization. And again, they're bringing back the circus. There's going to be street performers. There's going to be fire jugglers. I believe they're bringing back the laser light show. And yes, we're doing another art show at the Plymouth Art Center. So don't miss out. It's going to be a really good time. It is December 29th. It runs from 5 to 9. It is family-friendly, and I believe almost every event is free. There may be a few things that charge, but the whole thing is about bringing people out to kind of celebrate the end of the year and be family-friendly and inexpensive. So that's the goal. And for more information, you can go to PlymouthWinterfest.org and check out that website. I know they also have a Facebook event page, so you can go there also. And again, it's a great time. You can't beat it for free to go see a circus at Memorial Hall.
I believe they're going to have Clay Chick is going to be ornament painting. It's going to be tons of stuff to do. Our friends at Inky Hands are going to have something going on. So make sure you check it out, PlymouthWinterfest.org, and we'll see you there.